I want to go to Lauren. Lauren, you said you were dating yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's what I tell guys when I don't want to talk to them, to be honest. They're like, hey, you have a boyfriend? I'm like, I'm dating myself. Like,
cool. In your notes to us, you described yourself as corporate.
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean?
I work in healthcare technology. And like cubicle, like I can type really fast.
Got it. You said you're Latina and German.
Yeah.
Okay.
But all American.
All right. You're bilingual in what languages?
Spanish and English.
Spanish. Okay. You describe yourself as conservative.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you, I'm trying to remember. You said you're a published chemist and author. Mm-hmm. When you said you wrote the book, right?
Yeah.
But you're self-published, right?
Yeah, it's like the direct publishing, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
I did it through an editor. Yeah.
But like when I think of published author, like I could go publish a book.
Yeah,
right
everyone
now.
could.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was like, hey, I should write a book.
If people claim they're a model. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Someone took an iPhone photo of you?
No,
okay.
but I mean, I did get the chemistry one published.
Yeah, no,
you
said
that one's
that.
actually cooler, in my opinion.
Sure. You said that you describe yourself as bipolar.
Yes. So I am bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
My company is Crazy Good. My book is called Crazy Good. It's available on Amazon. It's not that great probably because it's just self-published, I'm just kidding.
Are you, there's bipolar 1, bipolar 2?
Yes, I am bipolar 1.
Well, so explain that. What does that
So
mean?
for those of you that don't know, bipolar disorder is a mood disorder where you can fluctuate from very lows into very highs, and depending if you have bipolar 1 or bipolar 2, the difference is that bipolar 1, you go to full mania, which can be very destructive. And then bipolar 2, you do more like hypomania. So women normally have more depressive episodes when they have bipolar disorder, but I am blessed to have, not really blessed, but I have more manic episodes. And so my book is really more like a little memoir that kind of compiles some of those really insane moments of my life and kind of a little perspective on it.
Do you take medication?
Every day.
Multiple medications?
Yes.
Okay. And how, actually really quick for the whole panel, does anybody else here have bipolar, BPD, APD, ASPD?
Anybody here take any other medication for what would be considered some type of mental illness?
Hide it. If it's anybody?
Depression? None of that? Okay.
All right. And let's see. Do you go to therapy for it or no?
Not therapy too much.
Therapy.
I used to, but they're kind of annoying sometimes. I think that a lot of therapists are just breeding narcissists.
Sure. You said, a question for you on this, and maybe the rest of the panel can weigh in. Do you think, or actually before I do that, in a relationship, how does your bipolar manifest itself, if it does?
So I'm very loyal. I've never cheated on anyone, never done any of that. But my 5-year relationship ended when I was diagnosed. So it was very, very terrible because I didn't know what bipolar disorder was, and I literally lost my mind doing research in a laboratory. And then it was really intense. You can read about it in my book. Anyways, so he broke up with me then, and I think I also told you a little bit on my little notes that at one point I gave an ex $90,000. So, some of the symptoms, people will have like a cancer and it'll be like, oh, you have a tumor. My symptom is I just spend all my money. So
okay.
That's really fun.
Question for you, and I guess the rest of the panel. Do you think it's wrong for a man to not want to date you or another woman because she is bipolar or suffers from, well, let's just keep it the bipolar, I guess.
I could, if it's unmanaged, don't date someone that's unmanaged.
Yeah, but let's just say just a blanket don't want to date somebody who's bipolar.
There's people, I've had this argument with a geneticist where he was actually saying that you needed to, eugenics, get rid of people with mental disorders.
Okay, I'm not really talking about that, but.
No, because if you don't want to be with them, you don't want to reproduce with them, and so you don't continue the bloodline of.
So you think it's eugenics for a guy to not want to date somebody who has bipolar disorder?
No, there's people that believe that. I'm just saying,
okay.
if that's how you feel, that's, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do think, like...
Yeah, you think it's wrong, though? Like, do you think it's unfair or, I don't know?
No, not really. I mean, everyone decides what they want to do, and I do believe that unmanaged and people that are not accountable for their mental illness, they are a menace to society most of the time.
Sure.
So...
You described yourself as opinionated on what?
Most things.
Most things, everything?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into it tonight then.
Yeah.
So going to the story, you said you gave $90,000
Yeah.
to a boyfriend. Was that the 5-year?
No.
How long were you guys dating?
We were living together. We were together, I think, a total of 9 months. But yeah, so that was interesting. It was an accident, kind of. But he had a company, and he was a CEO, so he was like, if you give me your money, then I'll put it into my business, and I'll make more money, and it'll be fun. And I said, okay. So then I just wired him $90K.
So he like scammed you?
Huh? Well, we actually had a promissory note, so then I got to sue him.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Yeah.
So wait, but was it an investment in the company?
No, he actually didn't put it in the company. I think what he did, and I can't prove this, but we went on like very extravagant like trips. I think he was actually paying for stuff to love bomb me with my money. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But we had some awesome trips, man. Like Mexico City, Sedona, Atlantic City, DC. You know, it was fun.
So, but I mean, I get that he didn't use it for the business, but the nature of the arrangement between the two of you was you were essentially investing in his business. Is that?
That was, but he didn't put it in his business. But that was the
Sure.
idea. Was essentially
Was there a written agreement or?
It was just a promissory note that I was letting him borrow $90K.
What did the note say?
It said that that I was giving him $90K, and that I would, once I moved out, if I moved out, he had to give it to me 30 days after I moved out. And he ended up, over a course of maybe 6 or 7 months, ended up giving me like 85% of it back.
Before or after the lawsuit?
That was during the lawsuit, because he wasn't going to give it back to me unless I got him with the lawyer.
So did you get all of it back?
Almost 85% about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you did get a judgment against him?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I had a promissory note, so it was just...
Well,
Like, what do you
right, but okay. So you had the promissory note, but he wasn't paying it. So then you had to go to court to file a lawsuit.
No, he started paying it, but he just started paying it in really small chunks. And so then the lawyer was saying that because he was still making the attempt to pay it, like he couldn't really like go further with it. So, I don't know, I paid a bunch of lawyer fees.
So did you file a lawsuit?
I got the lawyer I serve him, is that the word? I don't know.
So a lawsuit was filed?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it, so you dismissed it then?
What do you mean by dismissed?
Well, you filed the lawsuit because he wasn't paying you. Then he started paying you.
Yeah.
So did you, dismiss a case?
It wasn't, we didn't go to court. Like we were
Okay.
talking, he was talking to my lawyer through it and paying me very
So you paid most of it back. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
It wasn't just a gift. You didn't gift him $90,000.
Yeah, but he definitely lied about a lot of things. And then unfortunately, since I got really sick during that time as well, which is the reason that he got the money. And so then even when he gave it back to me, I did some really careless things, and I gave $30,000 to an orphanage in Nigeria. So that was, so.
30,000? Nigeria?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Was it an actual orphanage in Nigeria? Or
I don't
was it
I don't know the answer
Or
to
was
that.
it one of those kings?
It was kind of wild. So yeah.
Come be
There's
my
that.
queen.
Okay. Trying to think here. Was it a Nigerian prince or something?
Probably. I don't even really remember. Because when you go like so into mania, like you actually forget stuff. Like you kind of black out because of trauma. Like your brain's like, can't handle this. And so
Sure.
it's kind of crazy.
You also wrote in your notes here you wanted to speak about cultural differences in relationships.
Yes.
Yeah. So were you
So-
dating a Nigerian?
No, I was dating a Mongolian. Yeah.
Is that the only one that pertained to cultural differences?
No, actually, it's more so for me because I'm bicultural. So I was actually raised Mexican. I lived in Mexico for a little bit. I do speak Spanish. I feel weird just speaking Spanish, but I know you speak Spanish.
Yeah.
But and so I think it's interesting because in culturally, there's differences in like what the gender roles are supposed to be like. And I came from a very like traditional, like Mexican. The wife is at home and the dad is the breadwinner. And so I just think that also kind of played out in some of my relationships when like they expected something specific out of a relationship just because of their culture.
So did like the Mongolian?
Like what? Oh.
I don't know.
Huh?
Yeah,
Well,
like what? Like what?
like
What
the
things? Because
Mongolian,
you're talking about Catholic patriarchy from the Mexican perspective, right? So they have a strong patriarchal society because it's informed deeply by Catholicism.
Yep.
So it's very patriarchal. I get that, but Mongolians are really patriarchal too. So I'm like, it's like, what's the thing you're pointing to here?
Well, I'm just saying I think that's interesting. I wanted to talk about it. Like, what is everyone's experiences with different cultures and how do they clash? Because that was just kind of what I wanted to talk about in a sense. I don't know.
Yeah, what were yours?
What were my what? My cultural differences?
Yeah.
Yeah, these experiences that you're talking about, that you want to talk about, yeah.
Well, I mean, just in terms of like the culture, like it just kind of, the basis of culture determines, you know, how you perceive the world and how like your mate and everything like that. So, for me, I've seen like, I don't have like a specific thing on it. I just, you know, I don't know. I don't have like some juicy, sorry.
Okay, then I'll move it on.
Yeah.